Hello everyone and welcome back to CSE Interview Prep. So today we are going to discuss a famous problem from the topic array. So let's start. We have given a m cross n matrix, and if an element at a particular cell is 0, we have to make entire row as 0, row value as 0 and the column value should be 0. So consider the value in the provided example, which is of 3 cross 3 matrix. Here the value as 1 1 is 0. So I have to make here entire row which is 0 1 2 and column should be 0 1 2, entire row should be 0 and entire column should be 0 here. Okay, so let's start with the basic approach. So for the basic approach, we can create two temporary arrays which will keep track of the row indices and column indices. So here we have 3 cross 3 matrix, so we are having row dot length here and this is having the column dot length here, and both are of 3 length. This is 3, this is 3. What we can do, initially we are running two loops here. So we are running for I equal to 0 to arr dot length, which is for row, and for j equal to 0 to arr 0 dot length, which is for column. Now for each and every value of arr of ij, we can check if it is 0. If it is 0 means if arr of ij is equal to 0, then I have to make that particular I should be 0 and particular j should be 0. So here I depicts the row value and j depicts the column value. So for the given example, the arr of 1 1 is 0. At a particular value we are not going to store 0 because that is the problem here. Initially this temporary arrays, the temporary empty arrays are initialized with 0 values. So if we are going to store values as 0, we are not able to identify later on which indices or which row value or which column value we got as 0. So let's do one thing. We can store that particular row value as 1 and particular column value as 1 here. Now again, keep track of iterating again. We do not encounter any zeros. That means we have a row value and column value done for all zeros. Now let's go for the second pass. So run loop from 0 to row dot length. We have to check if row of I is equal to 1. Yes, if we encounter this, then we have to make all column values for a particular row should be 0. For I equal to 0 to row dot length, if we are encountering this, the row value should be 1, then the index for that particular row to be fixed, which is 1, is fixed here, and make all the column values like 0, 1 and 2 to be 0. So this will get vanishes. We are encountering this as array of 2D matrix. This is 1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 2. Okay, fine. We have this as a 0. Now the same thing, execute a loop for column array. So from I equal to 0 to call dot length, if for a particular column dot I equal to 1, what we have to do, make the entire row value to be variable and column value should be fixed. Row value can be 0 1 1 1 and 2 1. Make this entire values as 0, like this 0 1 1 1 2 1. Now we are getting our overall solution like here 1 0 1 0 0 0 and 1 0 1. So the time complexity for this approach is order of row length into column length, because we are considering the m cross n matrix. What about the space complexity? So we have considered here two extra space arrays. So we have to write our space complexity of the row dot length plus the column dot length, the two on the extra space which we have used here. How we are going to optimize this solution? So let's see. Let's discuss the efficient approach. In previous approach, we have seen we have created two temporary arrays which will keep track of the indices of the row values and the column values. We can optimize this solution by keeping track of only the first row value and the first column value. So this first row and first column variable will keep track of the zeros encountering in the first row. This is first column and this is for the first row. Zeros encountering in the first row and zeros encountering in the first column. So what we are going to do, we will just make these two variables as boolean, which is false. For every iteration and every row and every column, what we can do, we can check if a particular cell in a grid is 0, we can check whether the row ith value is 0 or the jth value is 0. So let's see with the code. For I equal to 0 to array dot length, for j equal to 0 to array dot length. Okay, now for these two things we can check if a value, if ARR of ij is 0 is equal to 0. Yes, if it is 0, what we can do, we can just create the, for every ij we can make I0 and 0j should be 0. If this is 0, 1 1 is 0, then 1 0 and 0 1, the row value and the column value should be 0. We can make a of I0 equal to 0, a of 0j equal to 0. Fine. Now we have to check whether which either row is 0. If row is 0, what we can do, we can make first row is true. Why we are doing this? That is because you can consider any value. If 1 0, for the case here we are taking 1 1. For 1 1 we are going to deal with 1 0 and 0 1. So in this case we have row is also 0 and column is also 0. So we can make row and column both should be true. So if j equal to 0, first column should be true here. Now this is my first pass. Let's start for the second pass. So we have already initialized my first row and first column value as true, and also the intermediate rows and column values to be 0, initialized to 0. Now for the second pass, already we are dealing our first row and first column with these two variables. We can iterate my loop with 1 1. So the row value should be started with, or I think I am writing here algorithm, so let's deal with algorithm here. We can see code later on, no need to worry. For I equal to 1 to ARR dot length, and j equal to, for j equal to 1 to ARR of 0 dot length. Now in this case what we are going to see, we have to put 0 in those cells where intermediate cells are already put to 0. That means if AI0 equal to 0 or A0j is equal to 0, yes, then we have to put Aij equal to 0. So we can see with the help of these two passes. Firstly, we have 0 here. For if A11 is 0, what we can do, A10 equal to 0 and A01 equal to 0. So A10 equal to 0 and A01 equal to 0. Now that's fine. Now, so we have seen here for the first pass, if A11 is 0, we are making, if A11 is 0, we are making 10 equal to 0 and A01 equal to 0. For this case, 10 equal to 0 and 01 equal to 0. Now, for each and every passes we are already done. Now what we can do, we can just do the opposite, reverse thing for the second pass. For the second pass we can start with 1 1, because we have already reserved my first row and first column value. We can check for each row and column value, if we have a of 10 equal to 0 or a of 01 equal to 0, we can make a11 equal to 0, which is already there, but it should be generalized for every I and j. If a of I 0 equal to 0 and a of 0j equal to 0, we can make a of ij equal to 0. Let's see the case here. We started with 1 1, 1 0 is 0, 0 1 is 0, we are putting 0, 1 1 is 0. Now come for 1 2. 1 0 is 0, 1 0 is 0, 0 2 is 0, we can put 0 2 is 1, we can put it's at 0. Now for 2 1 we can check 2 0 is 0, no, 2 0 1 is 0, yes, then put either row or column value, we have to put the 0. Then again go for 2 2, we are not getting any value, hence our iteration is done for both the loops. But what else is remaining? We are remaining with the first row and first column value. So if first row is true, that means I have to make entire row value to be true. Entire row value to be true. So let's take, if first row is true, we have to check, we have to run our loop from I equal to 0 to the column length, which is telling me for the overall row values, and I am going to make my all column values to be 0, which is a of 0 I to be 0. Now the same thing I will run for my f column. If f column is true, we have to go from I equal to 0 to row length and make all the column values to be 0. So there can be the case where we can get the value for the first row or the first column as 1. Now at this point of time, for the first row, if I are getting 1, we will run to this first column length. This is the column length, which is 3. This is the row length, which is run for 3 also. Okay, so here we can see the space which we have used is order of 1, and the time complexity here is for the two loops with the row dot length. We can consider here row dot length into the column dot length, because we have used two loops. So we have optimized our code. If you want to see the solution, let's explain that also. So we have declared our method as void, which is named as the set max zeros, and we are taking two-dimensional array, which is named as the ARR. We are initializing my first row value to be false, first column value to be false, running two loops which will doing two tasks. Firstly, it will checking for all the cell values. If any of the cell values is 0, it is going to check for either row value is 0 or the column value is 0. If the row value is 0, it will going to change the flag for the row value to true, and if the column value is 0, it is going to change the flag of f column to true. Also, it is going to initialize or set the values of I0 and 0j to be 0, which is the respective row and the respective column value. So we are taking for the second pass, we are initializing from first row and the first column, because we have already reserved our row value and the column value. We have got whether for each row value whether it is set or not, whether it contains zeros or not. So let's see for the second part. For each and every cell in the grid, we can check if I0 equal to 0 and 0j equal to 0, we are placing ij equal to 0. The respective row and the respective column is 0, we are making that particular cell to be 0. It will be go for from the row to column, overall row into length, and it is starting from first row and first column. Our task is done, but we have still remaining, because we have reserved our first row and first column. We can check if our first row is true, we can run till the column length. Yes, so we can see here we have already reserved our row value and the column value for the initially only. So here we can see we are running our loop from the 0 to the length array dot length, which is keeping track of the column values. So here, if the column F column is true, if F column is true, means we have encountered an 0 over there. We are going to initialize all the column values to the 0, which is still to the which is go to the row length, which is array dot length. Now, if row value is true, if we are going to run our loop from 0 to the column length, which is arr 0 dot length here at this point of time, and initializing all the row values to 0. In this way, we are going to achieve our optimal solution. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.